You are listening to the Car Pro Insider Podcast, episode 24, where in this episode, we're going to dive into 5 ways car sales pros can stay in front of past customers. Let's get into it. Hey, what's up? I'm Robert Wiseman, and I have helped car sales professionals from around the world sell more cars by building their personal brands, attracting high-quality car buyers, and becoming the go-to car guy or gal in their marketplace. So what does it take to become the car sales professional that people are lining up to do business with? This is the Car Pro Insider. Hey, what's poppin'? What's going on, Car Pro? This is your boy, Robert Wiseman, RW, and this is the Car Pro Insider Podcast. In case this is your first time here, this is the go-to podcast for automotive sales professionals who are looking for proven strategies, outside of the box creative ideas, and the latest and greatest of resources and tools to help you kill it and break it wide open in automotive sales. I am so glad that you are here for episode 24. First timers, what's up? I am so glad that you're giving me a shot, downloading me into your earbuds, doing whatever it is you're doing while listening to this. Big shout out to you. If you like this episode, head over to Robert Wiseman, WIESMAN.com. You can check out all the previous episodes there, all 23 of them prior to that. A lot of nuggets, a lot of great info in those. And also, if you do get down with the iTunes, if you head over there, there'll be a link at robertwiseman.com/24. But if you head over there and leave me a review and subscribe, you'd be aces with me for sure. I'd really appreciate that, whether you're first time here or been here from the beginning. Hook a brother up, right? And if you haven't subscribed, wherever podcasts are available, you can hook up with the Car Pro Insider Podcast there. So I encourage you to do so. So anyway, we are in episode 24. And as we discussed in the intro, we're going to talk about 5 ways you can stay in front of your past customers, right? There's so many different avenues and channels that you can utilize to do so. And I'm pretty much a guy that's against every time that I'm in front of them, I'm trying to get something from them. I don't think that's an effective way to stay in front of them to help you, create long-term value, get the most out of the long-term value out of these customers. I think it needs to be more value-oriented. I think that you should take another approach than always asking for referrals or always asking them to trade in or who's next to buy a car in their household, etc., etc. That's what we're going to talk about in this episode. So buckle up. Let's jump into 5 ways car sales pros can stay in front of past customers. Let's do it. So it's very easy to get caught up in the whole chasing and acquiring new customers and making that a big focus for car salespeople. Listen, I get that totally, but don't you think that a really strong and committed and consistent strategy of creatively staying in front of people that already danced with you, you know what I'm saying? People that already have done business with you, have already shown that they know, like, and trust you. So why not burn that relationship, but why let it fall by the wayside when in fact you can really keep it, keep it tight and always keep it kind of that relationship fresh and always stay in front of them. And doing so, that will, organically have them come back to you when they need to add a new car to their fleet at home. There's a new driver in the household. That driver in the household is up for a new car, or when a friend or family member or somebody does comment and that they do know that they're in the market for the car, they will think about you without you having to constantly hit them up to be like, yo, anybody in the market for a new car or truck? Like, if that's all the follow-up that's coming through, it's not going to be that effective. I mean, yeah, you might get some here and there, but it's like they're not going to be fond of it. And then every time that they get any messaging from you, they're going to expect you to be asking them for something. When in fact, I like to reverse it. I like to flip that around and in fact always be offering something to them, something of value, staying in front of them that way, as opposed to staying in front of them with just asking for referrals on a consistent basis. The customer that have already danced with you, like I said, have already done business, are more going to be worth more to you than new customers, right? Of course, new customers then become those sold customers. But what I'm saying is the strategies that you put in and the dedication that you put into acquiring new should have just as much of a strategy and time invested, hustle invested into staying in front of your past customers and staying in front of them with value, not just asking for referrals, like I said. So let's jump into 5 ways car sales pros can stay in front of past customers. Just going to list you down through 5 different ones with a couple examples underneath those ways that you can use each example. And then I'm going to get you on out of here because, here, RW at Car Pro Insider is all about getting you in and out with some piece of value, maybe one idea, maybe half an idea, then it was worth your time. All right. So number 1, we're going to kick things off with the staple is the phone. Now, the phone is the one follow-up channel that is in probably every salesperson's arsenal in every industry, right? Very high competitive. A phone conversation, it can be almost as effective as being face-to-face, chatting face-to-face, but the only problem is people are not answering the phone as much as they have in the past, right? My boy Ryan Stewman, who I'm the producer of his hit podcast, the Hardcore Closer /THC podcast, check that out, hardcorecloser.com. He's hit me to the game through some research that AT&T, right, one of the biggest mobile providers, reports only about 85% of all calls go unanswered. So it's not that the phone is not powerful, and I'm saying like taking phone calls and banging the phone up with dials is a waste of time. But I mean, it's not the best use of it, only because the simple fact is you're connecting with people less and less and less and less. All right, so the 2 ways that I think the phone is most valuable, of course, is the phone call. Again, it's being answered less and less, but it's more time consuming because you have to sit there and to bang out 50 calls. It can take a lot of time, right? It's not as fast. It's a one-to-one touch, and that can be time consuming, and you can't scale it, right? You can't scale that follow-up. So that it's one of my least favorite, although it is powerful, and I will drop a call and I won't hesitate at any time, but it's not the best use of my time, but it is still powerful. So that's the phone call underneath using the phone. And then, of course, as you probably assume, and I'm sure you're using, another powerful one with using the phone, a way to stay in front of customers, is text messaging. It seems like in today's world, everyone is texting, from old to young and everything in between. Text messages should be one of your most used channels for keeping in touch with past customers. Sometimes just a simple short text saying something like, hey, wanted to drop by and say hi and make sure you're still loving your car, RW, something like that, quick notes. You can actually even, there'll be a video I'll post from my homeboy Ryan Stewman, the Hardcore Closer, where it shows you how to put in the prefabricated text messages to where you just put a little short code into your phone to that person's number. Instead of typing out text, you just put a little code in there. Boom, it pre-populates that text. You just press send. Great way to leverage your time. Still not the best because it still is a one-to-one touch. So it does take a bit more time and effort, but it is way faster than sitting there and dialing out and trying to touch them all with a phone call. So definitely add text messages. Make sure you're texting past customers every now and then. Like to stay up with as many of them as I can monthly, but text messaging is a great way to do it. Check the video out at robertwiseman.com/24. And I'll put in there where Ryan shows you step by step how you can add these short codes to your phone to make texting even faster. Let's move to number 2 way to stay in front of past customers is personal websites. Now, is a business really a business in today's marketplace without a website? Are you striving towards building your own business within a business like a true automotivepreneur should? Well, then you need a personal website. It is the most powerful way a car salesperson can stay in front of past customers and also at the same time attract new customers 24/7, no matter where you're at or what you're doing. Could be sleeping, could be on vacation, etc. Your website is like clones you. It's like your team of salespeople that's open. I say it like Denny's 24/7, 7 days a week, where all the eyes and ears are, of course, online. So a couple ways that you can use your website to stay in front of past customers is, of course, the blogging. Now, it's sad to say most car salespeople are missing the boat overall when it comes to blogging. If you're one that is blogging and consistently producing content on your blog, man, you're already ahead of the pack and you're already in the right direction. Guarantee it. Use your blog to stay in front of past customers by creating content that is of value and or pertains to them in one way, shape, or form, right? It doesn't take brain surgery. You just need to get on there and start doing it. I'll link to a post, some content in here also about blogging that'll help you out. That's at robertwiseman.com/24. And the second way is with personal websites is your newsletter. All right. A personal website is one of the best places for an individual to sign up, subscribe to get your newsletter. You can even just create it. Your newsletter can be as simple as creating like a landing page or even a type of blog post that you send out to your past customers that, again, will have information that pertains to the customer and has value for them. It's not about sales. It's not about service specials all the time. Throw a service special in there, but also it has some focus on local content, right? Local events, local restaurants, things like that. People love that stuff. And when I was doing that, when I was selling cars, just like you on the front line, people ate it up because it wasn't always the newsletter like dealers are sending where it's all about trying to sell them more stuff. People just bought their car and it's already telling them to trade it in as part of the newsletter. That's whack. All right. So that's 2 for your personal website, your blog and your newsletter. Number 3 is email. Now, email has taken a back seat for a lot of car sales professionals today because they're leaning more towards leveraging this, channels such as text messages, social media, direct messages, and other forms of communication, which are all great, but also because it's falling to the back seat for a lot of car sales professionals, it's a reason for you to go hard, double down on using email. Now, a lot of people think they haven't seen the results they should get from email, and I'm going to tell you what, that's because they're not tweaking and trying everything. Like just sending the email is one thing, but it's trying and putting effort and investing creativity into, for example, the subject line, because the subject line is designed just to get the email open. So just putting your subject lines could be bland. Now think about you when you open up your phone and you're scrolling through your emails. What makes you open one? Is it really the sender? Sometimes, but not everybody's pumped up to hear from their car salesman. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot in how creative you get with the copy in that subject line to get more clicks and people to open that email up. So it's one of my favorite ways to communicate, and even still to this day, if you're subscribed to anything at robertwiseman.com, you'll see that I do use email and I communicate with you. I send these episodes out. I send out promos, things like that. So a couple ways to leverage email to stay in front of your customers and why you should is automation. The opportunity of automation. And one of the most powerful features that email has is the ability to automate a lot of your follow-up, right? If you are not seeing positive results from your email automation, you probably need to segment your customers into smaller lists. For example, your follow-up to a customer of yours staying in front of, if you really want to give them value and information that pertains to them, like I mentioned before, is segmenting them into different lists. You don't want to send out a broad email that goes to all of your past customers because you can't talk to all of them the same way, because some of them own this make and model, some own this one, some might have bought a used. They didn't even buy the make and model from the franchise that you work for, right? They just bought a used car there that was from that's a different make and model. So you have to communicate with these individuals differently. So I'd separate them at least into the make and model. Someone that bought the Sonata, someone that bought the Elantra, someone bought the the Accord, someone bought the Civic, whatever your manufacturers, whatever your models are, I would separate them into there and then communicate through email, speaking specifically to them pertain to what do they own, right? All right. That's automation. Another one is to distribute content. The blog post that we talked about above, the newsletter that we talked about above, what we're going to talk about next, video. Email is a great channel to distribute this valuable content and keep it in front of your customers. Your customers will love receiving emails from you if it pertains to them and isn't selling them and it's delivering value, right? So that's email. You can automate it. It's a great tool for distributing content that's valuable that your customers would want to read, would want to consume. You know what I'm saying? 4, like I just mentioned above, spoiled it, is video. Now, video is an awesome, insanely awesome way to communicate and connect with past customers. You know, I don't think I got to tell you that people love to watch video. And of course, it gives you more options for demonstrating features and delivering value to your past customers visually, right? There's a long list of ways that you can utilize video to stay connected with past customers. It's all just kind of like, it's going to boil down to how creative you can get. And I told you I'm here to get you in and out, give you some ideas. I try to walk us through all of it and talk about all of it. We're going to be here all day, man. I don't have the time for that, and nor do you. So I'm just going to give you a couple ways that I've used the video to communicate and to stay in front of past customers, and I saw great results from it. Number 1 is updates regarding their vehicle. Now, we all know recalls are a part of the car sales business. Now, if you create a video and distribute it via email, like I mentioned above, that where it's not only notifies your customer of that recall, it also explains it to them in language they can understand. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I've gotten letters for recalls on vehicles that I have, and what they're talking about on there makes absolutely 0 sense. So they will appreciate you if you distribute them a video that's discussing and showing them even and breaking down to them what exactly this means to them, this recall, right? We all get the letter, but the letter really makes no sense. So that's just one way to do it, is any kind of updates like that, right? Telling them there's a new tech update that all they have to do is press this, this, and this. Sometimes, the systems can auto update like that. You show them how to do that in a quick video, distribute it to them. They will love it. You only have to make the video one time, and then you can send it over and over and over again to any past customers that own that particular make and model. And then any future customers that acquire that make and model, you can then keep that video in front of them. So it's something you do one time, and you can use it for as long as as long as it's relevant to stay in front of and deliver value to your past customers. Next is tips for their vehicle. Now, like what I'd like to do is, even though I've reviewed and demoed the vehicle's features to them, and then even after they finish the paperwork and before they leave, I'm visiting a lot of the key features and technologies, etc., maybe several times. But the chances of them being overwhelmed and less engaged at that time, they're ready to go. You know what I mean? So I like to shoot some videos demonstrating how to execute and perform certain popular and convenient features on the vehicle they own, and drip them these tutorials over time. They will love it. For sure that they will love that. You're just showing them, updating them on here's how to do this. The more that you show them and help them get the most out of the features of their vehicle, and the more that they get the most out of the features and the technology, the more they're going to love it, the more they're going to love you, and the more probability of them coming back to do business with you again, then also sending their friends and families and associates to do business with you skyrocket. Number 5, we're moving right along, man. The last one is Facebook. Now, just like text messages, it seems like everyone, old and young, is on Facebook these days. from grandmas to 13-year-olds, everybody, right? When Facebook, when executed properly, can function as a awesome lead generator for a car sales professional. But with the news feed being as cluttered as it is today, and it's moving as fast as it is today, think about how you're on Facebook when you go through, man. You're on your phone, you're scrolling, boom, boom, boom. It's fast. It doesn't make the best channel to stay in front of past clients because of how fast it's moving in the news feed, right? That being said, Facebook still has some powerful ways you can utilize it to stay in front of past customers. Let me show you. First one, Facebook private messages. Look, Facebook private message feature is almost as strong as text messages today. Although you can't really use this feature at scale, it's definitely more of a one-to-one communication like text. You can still take some time out every month and shoot a quick note over to a customer via Facebook private message. Heck, even shoot a video and send it over through Facebook private message. This makes the most sense for your customers that you know are super active on Facebook. Holler at them where they're hanging out. You know what I mean? If you know they're on Facebook, get with them there. They will appreciate it, and you communicating to them in a way that they're comfortable, and you'll be able to get your message in front of them, which is the goal here, what we're talking about. Next part about Facebook that you can use to stay in front of your past customers is Facebook groups. Now, Facebook groups are like the toast of the town on Facebook these days, so it's time for you to tap into this if you haven't yet. For example, a Toyota Owners Atlanta, right, or whatever makes you sell, and whatever model you sell, and whatever city that you're in, of course, makes sense for a great Facebook group, right? Add people that own those particular vehicles, like own Toyotas but haven't bought from you, and also make sure you're adding all your past customers that have bought a Toyota from you, a Hyundai from you. This is a great way to stay in front of your customers with value, and it's an awesome opportunity to convert people who have not done business with you into customers. Pump value and share content. Best part is it doesn't even have to be your original content. You can share links from Toyota USA, from your OEM's website, press releases that they're putting out, from blogs like Motor Trend, Cars.com, places that are putting out content that pertains to people that own that particular make that you specialize in, is a great way to build that community in your own community around that your particular model, that's make that you specialize in, is a great way to drum up leads and also stay in front of your past customers with value. All right, so let's recap this real quick, and then we're going to bounce. Number one is phone. Best ways that I think, most valuable ways that you can really maximize the phone today, of course, but aren't the most power. They're very powerful, but aren't the most way to leverage, the best way to be leveraging your time. You know what I'm saying? So that's the phone call and text messages. Two is personal websites. There you can use your blog and also newsletter. Create that. That also drum up emails onto your email list and also stay in front of those past customers with value. Three is email. Loving about email is the option and the opportunity for automation if you put the work in, and also one hell of a channel to distribute content, being your content or others that pertains and would be valuable to your audience. Four is video. Don't think anybody needs sold on the power of video. You just need to start creating them. You can update them regarding their vehicle with, software updates, recalls, things like that. And then also you can send them tips for their vehicle, showing them how to get the most out of all the features, the technology, and everything on their vehicles. So the more they get out of it, the more they're going to love it, the convenience and everything about it. Five was Facebook, and you want to be focusing on Facebook private messages there, and then also Facebook groups. This is something where if you make it a group where it's going to be the leading resource, leading channel in the area, this is how you pitch it, package it in the area for anybody owning a Toyota product. This is where you want to be for all the updates and things like that going on. I think that that's a great way and a great thing that automotive professionals should be leveraging and tapping into on Facebook. So there you have it. 5 quick and easy ways for sales professionals like you to stay in front of your past customers. Hope you enjoyed that. Hope you get some kind of value out of that, even if it's stuff you already know. A quick refresh. Maybe I mentioned something within these 5 ways that you're already aware of, these 5 ways, but another way that you can get more out of them personally. If that's the case, I am very happy. Go over to all the examples and resources, bonuses, and all that at robertwiseman, wiesman.com/24. Everything will be available there. And until next week, keep grinding out on those black tops, baby, and I'll see you then.